tonight. We will definitely be bringing Trudy in a little bit later. She wants to come in to the show. We don't know when she's going to come in. But John and I here are just talking about industry things going on. First and foremost, guys, next week, we're about a week away. March 18th and 19th is the Free Atlanta Young Guns event that everybody's up at turmoil about. John, what's the Young Guns event about, man? You want to tell everybody what it's about?
Well, from what I understand, is the Young Guns are guys like us when we were young. These guys have been in business for a couple of years. They learn what their trade is, and they want to talk to other guys that are young as they are and how their trial and tribulations got to where they got. And some of the Young Guns there, to me and Ron, are still Young Guns, but there's Patrick Clark. He's probably 33 years old. There's Trevor Steele's 33, 34, 35 years old. They're going to speak there, and we all started as Young Guns. So I get it.
Yeah. Trevor Steele and Patrick Clark are coming to talk. I mean, that's pretty cool. That's a real cool thing.
That is a cool thing.
Really cool thing. I mean, those guys, funny thing is, you met both of them right back at that first Myrtle Beach event from Jeff LaCourse. Remember that?
Yeah, 2008. That's where, Patrick Clark, I remember he said he slept out in his car. I wish I would have known that. He was like 19 years old or 20 years old, and I would have offered my room. I mean, and Travis Steele was there.
We would have. Do you remember? I can't remember the guy that slept in the tent right behind his car, but he chose not to stay in a hotel. He don't stay in hotels. He was an over-the-road guy there from, I believe, North Carolina. I can't remember his name. Firefighter. Do you remember the guy? He chose round tables. Yeah. He camped out in his tent in the parking lot every round table.
Is his name William? Is it William?
William, that was it.
Yeah, I remember William, firefighter.
Yeah.
Of course I remember William.
He camped out right in the parking lot. So it was kind of funny.
Hey, these guys want to learn the trade. I mean, there's a lot of money in cleaning fields. I mean, Ron knows the world is built on concrete. There's a lot to clean.
Hey, something, John? I want to mention something like this. I wanted to say something because you and I both have the same agreement, and these guys will agree. A guy asked me the other day, he goes, oh, how you guys doing? Hey, Jason's on, David's on, Trudy's on, Jay's on. Hey, guys, got 15 guys on, man. Just chime in and say, hey, if you don't say anything, ask a question if you want to. We appreciate you guys coming in. But what I was going to say is John and I both agree about this. When John says the world's built on concrete, I was in a coaching call the other day. A guy asked me, he's from Colorado. He says, guy's been in landscaping business a long time. He says, Ron, what's the most profitable venue of pressure washing? And I told him, I said, look, if I told you that it was, I said, I fleet washed for about 10 years and I've been washing sidewalks, for the next 35 years. I said, if I told you that you can make more money at this or that, I'd be lying to you because I have no idea. I'm not a house washer. I didn't wash houses. So I can't tell you if there's more money in kitchen exhaust cleaning, fleet washing now versus sidewalk cleaning. But I told him, I said, one thing I did realize, and I think John remembers, guys used to laugh at me for cleaning sidewalks 20 years ago. They didn't even believe it was real. He doesn't just clean sidewalks. He's out of his mind.
I know.
John, I'll tell you this story. Maybe I never told you this story. When I was fleet washing, I realized that I was cleaning loading docks, because the trucking companies, then we were cleaning warehouses because all of the trucking companies had warehouses. So we're cleaning these warehouses, we're cleaning these loading docks. Then I started thinking to myself, there's more, at this time there was more money doing that than there was, but that wasn't what I was really thinking about. I was talking to grease guys because John remembers we used to have a lot of grease guys on the bulletin board. Guess what? They were cleaning sidewalks. Wait a minute. Fleet washing guys are cleaning sidewalks. Grease guys are cleaning sidewalks. House washing guys are cleaning sidewalks. There was a common denominator here. Everybody was cleaning sidewalks. And that's when I said, look, that's it. I'm just going to be cleaning sidewalks because every place in the world has sidewalks. And hence, here we are 35 years later, cleaning nothing but sidewalks. Hey, these guys are chiming in here, guys. Hey, we got a question here right out of the gate, John. John doesn't know about this, but you can go ahead and read it, John. You read better than I do.
All right. Hey, gentlemen, glad to be on. It's Eric Clark. Got it called the big Costco concrete work, getting my measuring wheel ready for tomorrow. You know what? Yeah, definitely. I would go to the place to get the logistics of it all, find out where the water spigots are, how big it is. But you also can get the an app. Map Measure Pro is the app. I have that app. You can get it right up from the satellites. Yeah, definitely. Give it a shot, man. I would go there though, so you get the logistics. Not all Costco's are the same.
Eric, it's a 2.5 to 3 hour maintenance shop.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Right.
That's all it is. And you need to ask them how often they're doing it. They don't want a one-time deal. They want it. They want it on a regular service. They may be in a jam because they're calling you because they've got a corporate inspection coming and they don't want to discuss a maintenance package. But I would definitely give them a price on a 30-day and a 60-day service. I actually give them a 15, a 30, and a 60-day service. I'd give them a 15, 30, and a 60-day price. And then I would give them the one-time price because they're, it's obviously probably very dirty. So give them your initial cleaning price. Give them your one-time price, obviously, for getting them through this, inspection that they're having. And remind the guy about the loading docks and the compactors. Because what all too often happens is the guy that does the front end doesn't do the back end of the store. He might put you in touch with that guy, and they'll get everything done at once. And believe it or not, it's two different guys in a Costco that'll make that decision a lot of times, unless you're dealing directly with the building engineer. Oh, man, you mean a Costco, a single Costco building has an engineer? Yes. And they're located in the rear entrance, and it's not the loading dock entrance. They have an actual separate maintenance area in the back of every Costco, and you'll go in and you'll see a receiving counter, and by that receiving counter is that engineer's office. He's the only guy that can hire you for the front end and the back end. Otherwise, it's the back end manager and the front end manager that's going to take care of that. But that guy actually ultimately makes the decision. So just a little tip for you.
Well, you know what? There's nothing I can add to that.
Well, here he is. He says they want the front of the store and the back docks. I didn't even see this question here. He said 2 times a year is all they do. Usually they're gas station people. Usually it's their gas station people. And they said cold water, no detergent, and must reclaim. On the reclaiming, that they do say that they want the reclaim. And if you don't have reclaim and you tell them you don't have reclaim, you're probably not going to get the job. I'll tell you what a lot of what that's cost is I'll tell you that if you give them the right pricing, they'll do it more. It's in their budget. They'll do it more than twice a year, guaranteed. There's no Costco on the planet that's not doing it monthly. So they'll do it more.
To that, Ron, I would give them a price. They're saying 2 times a year. I would give them a price for the once a year. That's going to be the most expensive. The 2 times a year, quarterly, and every other month, and they can see a discount. But just be aware of this: if they sign on and they say we're going to do every other month kind of deal, right? You got to charge them that initial cleaning, because a lot of these guys, I'm not saying Costco, but we clean like Applebee's, we clean Panera Breads. I don't want to give up too much what we do, but a lot of them will tell you like every month. And you got to be careful, because some of them will get you for the initial cleaning, and they're like, okay, we're good. So I would price it accordingly, initial cleaning, and then what it costs those months out. Over here in New York, you might get a bunch of these for every month. Like I said, every quarter, or twice a year, or once a year. So I would keep that in mind. Don't get suckered into, we're going to have you every month, and you do the initial cleaning and they're good. So I would add that to that. That's here. Arizona, every state is different. Arizona, they keep the walkways clean. They go after them all the time. Florida, forget about it. Forget about it. They got algae.
You're trying to tell me that our sidewalks were clean here in Arizona, John?
I'm going to tell you, a lot of them were clean, but some of them, like the hotel I was at, was like, oh, they're neglecting. But, it's probably COVID, because hotels got all scared over that stuff. Yeah, the sidewalks are pretty clean out there.
No, that hotel was
maintenance plans.
That hotel was really bankrupt, and they had just changed hands. That's what it really boiled down to. And it was happening right before COVID, which was even worse for them. You know what I mean? They probably were scared to spend any money, because I don't know if you took notice of their landscaping, but it was in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, it was in bad shape. But I tell you, the events I went to, Ron, and Craig Harrison. I got an announcement to make tonight about that. But Ron and Craig Harrison, F9, their Phoenix event was great. I had 40-something people for my class. I'm not complaining about that. That was awesome. And at Washmart University, there's 200 people there. So it just goes to show you that contractors, they want choices. A lot of people in America do, and now they're going to open it all up. But I wanted to say something tonight. I got multiple offers to garage classes, multiple. I don't know, 5, 7 offers already. I'm only committed to one right now, one. And that's why I'm wearing this shirt. I got family in Phoenix. I think the world of Craig and the F9 products, we use them, F9 bar, groundskeeper, all that stuff. But I'm going to be out there. I think it's November 4th, 5th, and 6th, Ron. Is that correct? Somewhere around there. Beginning of November.
It's 4th, 5th, and you'll be speaking on the 6th.
Yeah, so I'm going to be out there. I committed to that just tonight. Craig knows that. So I'm wearing his shirt. You know, he's got, you know, what nice shirts. If I had to guess, Sub Effects did this shirt, Christy White and Darren White. But,
we got a guy already asking to get your link up, John.
I know.
You didn't announce that. You didn't announce that. It took 2 seconds, and these guys want your link up on there, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna put up the link.
That's a record, John. Sold in 30 seconds.
I know. It's like Sally Field when she won the Academy Award in 1980. She said, "Oh, they really love me. They really do." The difference with me to a lot of guys out there, because I hear, you know, and there's some veterans too. I don't really care for this stuff. They're knocking these younger guys that, you know, are becoming teachers. But you know what? I could back it up. I mean, my guys, we work all the time. We got big projects coming up. We clean garages. This is what we do. I came in the world in this industry as a contractor. I'm going to leave it in 20 more years as a contractor. So it's going to be 46 years by the time I'm done. It's contractors first. And Ron said that for many years. He runs with that, contractors first. And it really is about the contractors. If contractors do well, the vendors do well, we all do well. So I'm a contractor first. And my classes, you know, I show my pictures. I don't show, you know, myself in some kind of Pontiac starting out and I was living, you know, in a park somewhere. No, this is what we do. So people get to see the real thing. And Trudy's saying in Florida, yeah, they're nasty. In Florida, I tell you, Florida, I've seen a lot of power washers out there. I did see a lot of guys doing it. There's probably a dime a dozen, but Florida is unbelievable. Florida gets nasty fast. That I could see. Where I live was pretty clean, but some of the walkways, like the Walmart's, nasty. It is, you know, it's algae season over there. So I guess 12 months of the year. And I tell you, the prices here's another thing I like to talk about. I don't discuss pricing too much on the net because Florida is a different world. Florida mainly to me is the biggest different world. But there's places like in Utah and Montana, you know, there's not 10 million people like there's on the island here. The cost of living is much cheaper out there. So prices are different. So Florida, when I had a guy come clean my place, I gave him probably a 30% tip, which, you know, some people's not a lot of money, but 30% tip of what the whole charge was for to clean my roof, my house, my walkways, my deck, the shed. So it's a much different, cheaper price there. But it's a different living there. I mean, you know, I live out there with my winter home, and listen to this, I'm only paying $700 a year in taxes and $1,400 a year in maintenance. So it's $2,000 a year out there. So that's why I don't discuss pricing on the net. Nick the cleaner, Nick Campanelli. Hey, Nicky, I was just showing you a book to Ron tonight from, let me just show Nick. Nick's on here. He knows this.
Nick made it.
Yeah, the Gotti family. I just told Ron tonight about that. That Victoria Gotti, because I watched them for 7 years. She signed this book over to me. She also signed one for Nick. Small world. Hey, Ron, you know what else I have here? Ron, check this out. Look, Ron, remember you called me Barney Fife? Look.
Wait a second, man. Hold on a second. I got my bullet in my pocket. Hold on.
Ron called me Barney Fife like 15 years ago on his BWI bulletin board. So,
John, we've gone back at it, man. So many times. It's unbelievable, man. Yeah.
Good times. You know what? We can all agree. We can all disagree. But you have to learn at times, let bygones be bygones. Life is too short.
It is too short.
I'm talking to you, Ron. I'm tangled up. Ah,
It's way too short.
I know. All right, I got my phone charger stuck on my chair. Yeah, so yeah, Nick says estate flowers mildew. Yeah, mold and mildew or algae, whatever you want to call it. And this is I got Trudy's hat on, by the way, the panhandle. Guess you guys can't see that. Ron, is she gonna be at the Young Guns, Trudy?
Trudy, the Young Guns, yeah, she's coming on here in a minute to tell us about what she's been doing painting wise, man. It's pretty incredible what she's doing painting wise.
Yeah, that's a big thing in the industry.
Look at that stuff right there, man. Like that right there. Classic touch. That's her company. That's her actual wash company. She's been doing it. She's been washing 15 years, man, and probably washed more houses than a lot of these guys out there these days.
Sure. I gotta tell you guys, she's about this tall, like mini me. She's her and my sister are very similar in size, but she's a bull. I mean, she's unbelievable. She's got a 5,000 square foot warehouse. She sells products. She has a maid company. She's got a power washing company. Her husband's like 3 times the size. Shane's a big dude, and yet she's out there. She's cleaning. There's amazing people in this industry. Amazing. The energy levels are high. They support helping contractors out. It's a great industry. I love this industry.
Russ Spence and Shane kind of remind me of one another.
How tall is Russ? I only talked to him on the phone. He's a big dude, right?
6'3". Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both big guys.
Big guys. Karma Collective. They're not maniacs like me and Ron.
I don't know, man. I don't want to test either one of their tempers. That's for sure.
Oh no. So, you know what they say,
so
Ron?
They're calm and collected around us because we keep them calm and collected.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't use these, man. You got to use weapons. There's big people out there. But these are great people. A lot of great people in the industry, and you really get to meet them at the events. I mean, look, bulletin boards to me were better than Facebook because bulletin boards are more exacting, like a library, right? Facebook spread everything thin, but nothing is as good as being at an event and meeting these individuals. There's nothing like that.
There's nothing for that networking that you can't do. You can't get that online. It doesn't exist. I mean, it really doesn't. But a lot of these guys, I mean, until they come out and see it for themselves, I mean, they're really not going to know. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And you know what? People on Facebook, they hide behind the laptops or the computers or mommy's basement, and they talk a lot of smack. They make shit up. I saw a guy today in my group. He put himself up on a lift, like a forklift, 3 stories up. If you ever see those extended forklifts, he's up there power wash. I said, take that down. Take that down because he's hanging on a skid, a little wood skid. I'm like, take that down. Me and Ron going to have Tom Sevierchek on. Oh, I'm going to jump ahead for a second. We're going to have Tom Sevierchek, the owner of Joe Wilson Insurance. We're supposed to have him on next
week.
You
do that, John. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to share this while you're doing that.
Okay,
right?
I was doing that
I'm going to
earlier.
go ahead and share this link.
Yeah. I'm going to contact Tom Sevierchek. I met him. I know him. I was down in Florida. I went to home. Joe Walters lives there. We were on the phone talking. Because of COVID, Joe needed to get another shot, so we couldn't get together. But Joe Walters, obviously, is the founder of Joe Walters Insurance. And Tom Sevierchek bought that out. And he's got a lot of great things to talk about. He's going to come on with us next week. But what I'm going to do, people, I want you to realize this. I'm actually going into Atlantic City. If all goes well, I'm going to know by, what is today, Ron? I'll know by Friday, the latest. There's going to be a conference meeting going down. We're going to set this up. Ron does all the calls. I put this on my page. He sets up all the meetings. All I got to do is show up. So I hope to show up there next Wednesday. Sit down with this casino. I'm looking for something that I haven't gotten yet, and I want it, and Ron understands it, and we're going to talk. If all goes well, I'm going to be sitting in that casino next week doing a show with Ron. So I'm going to contact Tom Sevierchek because the insurance and safety is paramount in our industry, but I have a conflict. What's going on here because I need to slow this casino down. So if all goes well, I'm going to be sitting in that casino next week, and I'll do the show with Ron. Ron says, John, do the show over there. All right, Ron, I'll do the show over there.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be in Atlanta. You'll be in Atlantic City. It'll be a lot of fun, John.
Yeah. Hey, Ron, listen, everybody knows this in the industry. I'm going to throw a plug here. There's nobody better at promoting this industry than Ron Musgraves. Case closed. You could ask anyone. You can ask Raymond Burke. You can ask Dougie Dude. You can ask, the PWNA. You can ask my good friend Everett. Everyone knows that Ron is the best promoter in this industry, bar none. He won't sleep if he can't promote something. So he's going to be working on this with me. You're going to be at the Young Guns event, and I'm going to be in Atlantic City. So we're going to coordinate this thing. We're promoting this thing, and we're going to get it done. I'm very confident we're going to get the deal that Ron and I agreed upon. I'm confident, Ron. I think you are as well. We're going to get this deal. It's coming.
Oh, I know we are.
Yeah. And and listen, when Ron calls them up, I was on the calls. I heard the calls, and they're like, "Hey, Ron, how you doing?" So they know him. They know Ron. And, he's got a lot of energy. So, you know what? We're going to try to move things forward with the industry. There's groundbreaking stuff going to happen. If I could pull this off at Ron with the casino, it's oceanfront. The bar is oceanfront. We're going to go top of the line. And you'd be surprised the cost, what this is going to cost to the people that are coming to this thing. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great thing. It's going to be unusual, but for a large convention, but it's going to be awesome. I'm excited by that. My wife is in the other room watching her shows to catch up on because we came back from Florida. And she's like, John, focus on the business here. Focus on power washing. And I'm doing we have 48 estimates or something I had to do this week. I'm not done yet. And I take her out with me because our kids are off in college or living in different states. And I'm driving around. I'm like, God, this is unbelievable. What me and Ron are doing here. It's unbelievable, people. It's unbelievable. So we're going to try to do the best we can. And, anybody who gets involved with us on this, everyone's going to do well. And there'll be people who learn. They're going to want to come. It's a ground ball. Ron,
hey, John, I promise to give away some shirts to some guys here. Let's see what happens.
Ron, you got a question here from Vincent Cyril. Yeah.
The Atlanta event open to everyone, Young Guns. Only thing Young Guns means is that some of the speakers will be under 30. Yeah, it's open to anybody. Anybody can come, man. Get registered.
And also, Vincent, two of those main speakers there were Young Guns. And I'm going to be 60 in May. You got Pat Clark, who's probably 33, 34, that range. And you got Trevor Steele. And me and Ron remember when they first started. They're both in their 30s. So they're Young Guns too. But Ron was really targeting people under 30. But he's showing these two that are very successful in our industry. Trevor Steele sold his company. He's now franchising. And we all know Pat Clark. So if I was off Ron, I would go to that thing because I know I can learn a few things from those guys. I know I can.
No doubt.
Oh, no Vince doubt. Wants to know me and Ron. Ron, you're probably going to – Ron always speaks at these things. I can't be there, Vince.
I don't know. If everything goes well, I won't, John. That's the pretty thing. If everything goes good, I won't.
Don't come into my world because I'd rather not speak. Ron loves to be in front of that crowd, man. A ball of energy. We'll see.
Oh, yeah, I love it. It's good. It's good stuff. John, speaking of that, man, again, here's why we do this. I love to do it. That's why we do it, man. It's just a good thing. I think that if, I think a lot of guys get all crazy about the young guys, the old guys, the intermediate guys that are trying to make their names for themselves in the industry. And when I think some guys read more into what I'm saying, like some guys think I'm talking about other people, and I'm just talking across the board. Because after 35 years, John, we've seen, we've seen them come and go. They've come and gone. And that's just how it is. And by the way, Combe might be coming in here soon because I just seen him right there. But he can come on in with Trudy. He just got he has to get on that link and get in there. But I think that people don't realize that even though this is a Young Guns event, there's going to be old dogs doing the training, the technical training in the mornings. So half the day is, we can call it the old dogs or whatever you want to call them. Sorry, Trudy.
Trudy's young.
Not you, Trudy. Trudy's under 30. Well, we'll be with some of the 30. Young Guns. And in actuality, Young Guns can even help with that part of it. but there's going to be like a lot of experienced veteran contractors doing the technical training. And then there'll even be some speeches by like Pat Clark, Trevor Steele. And if we have to substitute, we've got some backup speakers that are going to be backing up. And they're not young guns. I wish I had young gun backup speakers, but I don't. But, you know, go to National Cleaning Expo, and if you guys read what's going on there. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'll just go there myself and just go ahead and read the lineup of the young gun speakers. That way, everybody will kind of get an idea of, we'll get an idea of what's going on there. So a lot of the speakers, and I'm just going to read the list of the speakers because it's pretty crazy. Myself, Nicole Anglin, Trevor Steele, Trudy Wickham, Joe Knows, Bailey Mundungo, Leon Johns is going to be there. Obviously, Leon's not a young gun. Leilani Chostner, Evan McGinnis, Patrick Clark. Now, the young guns are Kyle Davis, AJ Joyner, Devon Walden, Devon Carr, and then we were going to have a guy coming from Staying Ceiling Pros, but we got a substitute, and the guy, I don't know his last name, but it's Joe. And we got Caleb Roth and Cody Anglin. And I think Cody's only like 17 or 18, John. So, I mean, and Cody's been doing this since he was 4. No, I'm just kidding.
That's crazy.
He's got 12 years experience now. No,
that is crazy.
Cody's been working in the summertime with a contractor, and he's been doing pressure washing for about 3 years. And Cody's going to like kind of tell us. He's going to sit in on the, when everybody, we used to call it experts, but we'll call it the young gun panel.
Right.
And he's been sitting in on that. What we're going to ask Cody is, what's he thinking about doing? Because there's another one of the young guns there that, graduated college or graduated high school. He had worked for a contractor for about 4 years before he went to college. He went on and went to college. When he got out of college, he couldn't get a job. So he started washing. And then by the time he's 26, he's doing $1 million in sales. You know what I mean? And I mean, that's pretty amazing. And he's got 6 or 7 trucks. So, you've got all kinds of people now that are in this industry doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff. So
yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
It is amazing. It is amazing.
We get Tom Sevierchek on here. You guys are going to be shocked when we talk to him. This power washing companies, they got hundreds of employees that he insures. So we all listen. Facebook and these groups are not where it's really at. It's the real world where it's at. Like the Young Guns, that's a real world event. Facebook, we all, you got to really look through Facebook who you think's telling the truth, and they got to try to go through that maze. But when you go to these events, these are real guys that are passionate, that come to these things. They're excited by what they've done, and they want to teach you. And most of the times, it's all free because they're really excited, and their trial and tribulations, they don't want to see you fail like what happened to them. And I feel the same way. I've done it, I've been involved with this stuff for years. When you deal with niches or niche, like with Everett Abrams with wood restoration, because he goes deep into that. Myself with the garages, you got people teaching all kinds of stuff when it comes to that specific, intense. Carlos Gonzalez with gas station training, John Castillo, same thing. That's a different animal, but it's all good. So if somebody is willing to, like Trevor Steele, if I'm not wrong, Trevor Steele is speaking. He's not charging, right? Trevor Steele.
Is he charging for what? To speak? Of course not. This is a free event, John.
Right. I don't want to overstep myself, but he's going to teach you guys about systems. And my good friend Peter Artusa, a lot of guys, systems. If you want to scale, systems are very, very important. One day, Ron, I'm going to do a class. I'm going to do a class that nobody really does in this industry. There is a class in the back of my mind, back here, that, not everybody's got to be 5,000 employees or 500 or 50. I'm at a level in my company now where I can run around the world if I want to. We can manage it. I'm going to do a class in that one day where you can find your level you're going to be at, where you can be comfortable. That's one of the classes I'm going to teach you. I'm going to do that for free. If I do that, that's going to be for free. But these other guys, they're going to teach you. Like Trevor Steele sold his company. He was doing high rise, I think he's down by the Myrtle Beach area, that area, somewhere around there. He sold that. He started very young. Me and Ron remember him. And he looks young. If you see him, he looks like he's 19 years old still. He looks great. But they're willing to teach you guys this because they really are passionate.
Hey, John, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna bring in our special guest tonight.
Okay.
Guys, I want you guys to know that this guy, just to set this up, guys, I've known this guy. Oh man, we met in 2008. I want to kind of set this up. First time I ever met him, I came to his shop, man, and I saw all this equipment, man. And I was like, this guy must be doing $3, $4, $5 million a year. At the time, he was not doing $3 or $4 or $5 million. But I was like, I've been in business already 20 years, but I was perplexed, man. I saw lifts, I saw trucks. I mean, and he's gonna get on here and talk about and tell us a little bit about this, like hopefully the first time we met. But the reason we're bringing Comb Fidget in tonight from Precision Pro Wash, guys, is because he has got a show going on the 24th and 25th, Comb.
That's it, lads. Yeah.
Tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Me and John will sit back and relax.
Hey, lads. Thanks for having us on tonight. Great news. I'm originally from Ireland. I'll be here 31 years, June 9th in America. I am 29 years in the washing world. And for anyone that is younger, I'll be 50 this year. There was a thing called a telephone book back in the day. And believe it or not,
back in the 1900s.
Your telephone was hooked onto the wall. You couldn't leave it. There was such thing as a cordless telephone. You actually went away from here to there. That was it. You know, if you wanted an extension cord, you'd go buy an extra one. But I suppose a bit like John and Ron, that rhymes there. Two veterans, I suppose I'd be third in line, 1, 2, and 3 after 29 years.
Two.
If you want to know how to succeed in business, I was asked that question once, can you tell me the secret? And I said, sure, have a seat. And I said, okay, you got 25 years?
Me?
There is no magic secret.
No, I got 26 years. You got 29. You're number 2. Ron's got 35 plus years.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that. I upgraded and cost me. I love that. All right,
moved
great.
up already.
It just cost the time you put in. So I do appreciate you having me on here, Ron. We have a lovely show coming over here in New Jersey, right in Somerdale, with 2 locations for the show. We're going to do a class on the 24th. There's a sealing class ahead of that. I just booked that this morning for anyone that's interested. Just to give you a heads up, the cost for our event is $199. That covers your food, your booze, and entertainment. And I'm going to give you some good values in chemicals back as well for anybody that is there. That just puts you have a little skin in the game versus a free class. It's a lot easier not to show up in one of those. But when you invest $200, you're not investing in my business, you're investing it in yourself. So the event is the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Whatever of March. I'll come back to you in a second on that. I'm going to get a phone. But anyway, I'll have a link sent over to Ron a little later on. We start around lunchtime on the first day. We're doing classroom inside. Then we have a happy hour. I have a beautiful nightclub / conference room in my business that I use mainly for building relationships. It's a great spot. And then the next morning, we're heading down to our new location that has a repair center in there. We'll be washing the roofs. I do not use bleach when I do any siding or we only use it for roofs and stucco. We have a Precision Bright soap, it's known as, and we're able to stay open year round. SH does not work below 40 degrees up here in New Jersey. So a lot of places have to close. With this solution that we use, wow. It's actually a fleet washing soap. We're able to stay open year round, which is fantastic. It'll be a great event, good value. I'm off to 10X. I'm packing. That's why I'm up in my bedroom here. I'm off to see my main man, Grant Cardone, tomorrow. I'm going to be in Miami for 6 days and I have a mastermind with Grant. So I'm going to come back with loads of nuggets every time. I'm on his accelerator program. Every time I listen to his team, I come back with business nuggets. Never mind the power washing business. I come back with plenty of nuggets. And I'm going to be sharing some of those with people. The one thing I'll tell you, when you're in business a long time, it's the experience you get. Young people, they kind of are people getting into business. Where's my hand? There we go. To get on the curve, when you listen to people and veterans, your curve goes like that, and then it goes just like a rocket ship.
Yeah.
But you need to listen. And then, lads, I tell you what other people are not great at. Ron and I agree on this one, following through. People are good. They listen, but then they go home and they get stuck in their ways again. They don't answer the phone. They get a little busy. They get a few dollars in the bank. They think they're rich, but you got to follow through with everything. That's another bit of business advice I give people. It does not cost anything to do a little extra for your customer, for your friends, or to reach out. And it just costs you a bit of time to, hey, happy birthday to somebody here and there, especially when you're trying to build those relationships. But we will touch base. If someone's on here and they're doing a few shows, every show, every event it'll have a different flavor to it. Sometimes I might not be someone's cup of tea, but then again, they don't slice the check for my mortgage. I do.
Hey, Colm, are you talking
Yes.
about Grant Cardone?
Yes.
Wow, impressive.
Yes. So
I have a house down in
You just
Florida.
left Miami.
Yeah. Well, my house is only 2 hours away from there, and I heard he was going to be down there. I had to come back. But Grant, I wanted to keep something just on your mind. I'm going to be in Atlantic City Wednesday, and me and Ron, we got this big conference call going down. I'm trying to sew up one of those casinos on a major level. So
Lovely.
you'll be in the loop when we try to get solved down there. How far are you from Atlantic City?
45 minutes.
There you go. We're doing something on a large scale, but that's impressive. Grant Cardone. That's got to be expensive to see him, right? It's got to be a big cost to that, but it's probably worth it.
No. To be honest, if you go on a mentor program, I got a great deal. It comes with payments. That's how great it was. But his event, it's called a 10X conference. It's $97 if you want to do it virtually. There's only 2,000 people allowed at this one. It's at the Turnberry Resort. But for the $97, he's giving you, believe it or not, a hat. No big deal. Some kind of water bottle gets mailed to you, but you get to spend the $97 back in the store again. He's very smart at marketing. Wow. He hooks you in with that. You can buy digital products. The 10X rule book's great. Lots of stuff. You know, I suppose about to hit 50, I'm out of mentors, to be honest with you. So that's been an issue for me, I suppose. Now we help other people starting off in business and businesses and give them some advice. I had a young fella in there yesterday, and he goes, I'm going to change everything around on this rig. And I said, you know what your issue is? He goes, what's that? I said, stop making excuses. Go make some money. There's nothing wrong with your rig.
Right.
And he's like, oh. I said, no one's called you out on it. That's what happens to business owners. You don't get called out. That's why you need it. Nice having a mentor to go, or a good friend of yours, or someone that's a little better off going, I know, here's what you're doing wrong. Or accountability is another big word. You know, when you're the owner and you're the king of the castle, you know, you have to kind of stick to a higher level. Now it's easier said than done. Go ahead.
Do you remember what I told you every one of those trucks should be making?
Yeah, $1 million.
You have an impressive fleet, man. I can just tell you that. How big's that boom lift you got now?
We have 4 boom lifts at the moment.
Wow.
The highest.
What's the biggest one? I don't always want to hear about the biggest one.
It goes up 90 feet. That green one you went up on that time, Ron, I'll tell you a little story. You know, we have the tractor trailer to move it. It's a Peterbilt and the low boy. Now, any fool can
I was in one of your lifts once. Maybe I was in the speakeasy too long. I didn't know about it.
You and Peterson went up there. Your pal Jerry Peterson went up. So with that lift, I will tell you something about tying your equipment down and checking stuff, especially if you are the driver. A little nugget there. My foreman we put the lift on, strapped the lift down. This is a Z6085, it was a big Genie boom. You know, it was a used one from Sunbelt that we had bought. I'm driving down the freeway or the 295. I hear this massive boom. I mean, and I thought I was heading to heaven or hell, wherever I was going. I took a deep breath and I said, oh, you never know when you're going. I'm like, oh, this is it. Then I looked around, I kept driving and I was waiting. I always, when I move my equipment, big equipment, that I always have a truck follow me behind. We have a service truck and that comes behind. So when I want to move into another lane, it stops the traffic, or if I have to make a wide turn, it's got this little amber light on there, like the snowplow light. Well, it just so happened that my foreman did not lower that by 2 inches all the way, and it hit a bridge.
Oh, geez. Wow.
Yeah. So we had totaled the lift.
Wow.
Because I brought it in, my mechanic looked at it. He's a lift mechanic, and then I got a second opinion, and they said no. Once you have a fail like that, you can't put anybody up in it. There's no chance of it. But we were blessed to have inland marine insurance, which is a little deeper insurance that a lot of people don't know about. I don't like insurance. We spend over 70 grand a year on it, but it was nice to have that insurance for the inland marine. We got to buy another one. There was no BSing around. We just sent them the receipt. And we put the claim in, and then that poor lift went to the scrapyard. And I sank like 3 grand into it on a new basket, and I kind of like that lift. But that's the biggest one we have. We have two 660s SJs, and then we have a Z45. I'm going to trade a 60 in and a Z45 and come with it's called a 600 AJ that has the articulating, and that's the game plan. One reason we own our own lifts is because when you're on rental and you're on that too, but if it pours rain on you for a week, you're still sucking the lemon on the rental. So, and then you're in no rush to get a job done. If there's a couple of hiccups in there or something happens.
Yeah, I had that happen a few times because I do rent for Sunbelt. I have an account. Do you rent your equipment out? Like your lifts? Would you rent those out?
The liability is too much.
It's too much. Okay.
No. The liability is too much. And then, let's just say a hose line breaks on it or something.
Right.
Then I'm on the hook, and then you're kind of aggravating people. Or Sunbelt or United, they just ring another one out to you. They have the inventory, and that's I've no problem if someone has a bigger job they can't handle down this way. We'll gladly come in and piggyback and run the job and help it, or give them some guidance on it. That's happened a couple of times to me. People have rang in and they're like, I said, listen, you're leaving a fortune on the table there. You'll go out of business, charge this amount. And especially in the solar panel in the world, they're like, oh my God, I didn't realize that. And they'd call me back to say, thank you. They'd land the job at a keen price. And
you know what? You just said something, Colin, that's interesting. The solar panel world, Ron, that's another thing. They're popping up all over the place. Where I live in Kings Park, I actually just saw a big one in my town. They just put all these things up on this vacant land. And maybe within a year, I don't know where it was. I wasn't looking for it, but I'm out doing estimates. So I was in Florida for over a month. I'm running around, and my wife's in the car. We go past this field that was empty. The last time I saw it was like a year ago. Solar panel from one end to the other. It's amazing.
Yeah, and they need to be cleaned.
Yeah.
I think when it says do not enter in case of emergency, give a call on the gate. That's the number to call. They need to be cleaned. Yeah. So a good lead. And just anyone listening here tonight, like, it just takes patience. You got to be, there's a line Grant Cardone uses, and it was a few weeks ago. Here's a nugget. If anyone's got a pen and paper, write this down. The future is in the follow-up. I'll repeat that again for you. The future is in the follow-up.
Makes sense.
1% of sales are made on the first call. 2% are made on the second. 80% of closing a deal are made between the 6th and 12th touch.
That's great advice. Great advice. My wife.
And what's the mastery of sales? Reducing those touches, right?
Speed equals success.
That's
reducing those touches.
Time is money.
That's why I love doing free service. That's why I love doing all that. Because if you do a free service, there ain't going back to them 8 times. You could close them on that deal right there.
Hey, Colin, where does Grant live? Does he live down in Florida?
No, he lives in Aventura there, and that's where the event is at. He bought himself. He got 2 helicopters. Now, mind you, I didn't like the color blue. I'm not just kidding. It's a helicopter. It's better than one I have. I don't have one.
Hey, Rod, this is all great stuff. You know why? Because when we this Atlantic City thing, we're really working on this thing. And you know what? Maybe we'll contact Grant. You never know. This is big.
You got 100,000 or 150,000?
Well, he's 100,000 for an hour, and you go to him.
Listen, I contacted Mike Tyson to be a speaker at one of these things, right? Because I had the ability to contact these people. He wanted $200,000 plus just for an hour.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You know, we're not in that range. You know,
but listen, you'll get there.
Taylor, like 20 grand. But Lawrence Taylor had a whole baggage attached to him. But me and Ron are thinking big down the road. But Grant Cardone, look, Tony Robbins, forget about it, right? Tony Robbins. Was it Tony Robbins? Tony Robbins. These are big time guys.
You know, another thing you could do is reverse that. I make a lineup that the Grant has this. It's called the 10X Planner, and you write your goals and you write your stuff down every day. It's 60 days. It goes for.
Right.
So it says, what do you call those? Oh, your line. What's it known as? Your motivational line every day. Your whatever it's called. Not success. Where my book's downstairs.
Slogan.
A slogan or something like that. Make up your line. So
right.
I had one that said, you know, it's a box. People say think outside the box. Well, who told you to get into the box?
That's good.
Don't get into it. It's just the box.
Yeah, so many people get boxed in.
You know, so what I was thinking there to reverse that and think outside the box is maybe you do an event around a Tony Robbins or a Grant Cardone event, and then that's the highlight. You go in, the guys spend a day or two, or the lads or the lassies spend a few days, and then you have your event, or they normally finish at 5 or 6 or 3 o'clock, and then you tag on and do an evening thing.
Ron, we're not going to discuss this publicly, but this is exactly Colm, I met you at the PWA convention. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what me and Ron were talking about earlier today, what you just said on a different matter. That's exactly.
Hey, John, I got to get Trudy in here, man. Cole, give me 30 seconds, Cole. Give me your best. Give me something here. Give us some advice for these listeners and what you're going to be doing at the show. 30 seconds. Let's do it.
So we're going to be showing you what a real rig looks like. I built a machine that's worked over. The rig is $180,000 worth of equipment sitting in it, the chassis, the whole kit and caboodle. Come down and see what a shop looks like where you can get to. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes a little bit of time and persistence. I remember people used to laugh at me when I was in the power washing business. And they'd be like, oh, how's the power washing business? Well, I just got myself a brand new Denali, and it's doing all right.
Well, that's good. Hey, man, have a safe trip, man. Thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
Oh, great talking to you.
Lads, God bless, guys. Be well, be safe, and listen.
Same to you, Colm. What a great thing. That guy's unbelievable. He just hit what we were talking about. Oh, here she is.
Trudy, we got no time to waste, John. You got to go in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I got 2 minutes. On the grill.
You got 2 minutes, Trudy. John's got to go.
No, I got 10. Wait, hold on, Kath. When do you want to put the grill on? What?
He's yelling about the grill.
No, I'm serious. My wife's a great cook. All right, whenever you're ready, Kath, just holler. Whenever it's ready, just holler.
That's perfect. You're right there by Panhandle, Trudy.
Yeah, look.
See how perfect that is? Well, I got some, Trudy, I got to turn on your unmute. Go ahead, Trudy. We can hear you now.
Okay, perfect.
We can hear you now. Trudy, I'm going to put these questions on for you because I want you to know what happened here. I have them, Newhouse here. Here's one, Jeremy Brook. Can you read it?
I can't read anything. Nothing's coming on my.
I know a contractor had to pay $7,000 to repaint a home and that was him getting a deal from a painter. So these lists, these people, man, they just keep going on and on and on, man. I mean, it keeps going crazy. Here's another one. Let's see, Dennis Ann. We hustled lifts. Oh, he's talking about the lifts. I got more with the painting thing. I have them on a new house, 20 of them. There was a bunch of questions here for painting, but I guess I got lost in this thing when Colin was on there. But basically, these guys, they're having problems. You know, I think that we need to make a complete show, Trudy, exclusive to just talking about this problem. What do you think, John?
Oh my God! I mean, that's a no-brainer. You know, we've been lucky. I have wood houses lined up now, hardy board, you know, with these paints, and we haven't ran into this problem yet. But I almost feel like dropping all these houses that we do is scary. You know, $7,000 for painting a house. My God, out in my ear, it'd be $50,000. Scary.
Oh, these $1 million houses here.
Oh yeah,
is insane. But yeah, it's happening a lot, and it's been 2 houses on us about 5 years ago, and it was gut wrenching. I felt so bad for the homeowner, and it wasn't anything I did wrong. You know, we did what we were supposed to do, the way we've always done it. We've been to all the events, all the round tables, all the training, and it's just gut wrenching. I mean, to see somebody's biggest investment change color was horrible. And that's when I just dove into this. I'm like, I can't contractor homeowner go through this again. So
quickly tell these guys, because John, his dinner is done in 3 minutes. Tell these guys what we're doing on the 18th of March in Atlanta. Explain to them what you get. Do you have the board outside?
Okay.
No worries. Well, we're getting, I was trying to find a picture of that board. I think you texted it to me.
I know the board. Yeah.
Did you text it to me, or did you send it on Messenger?
I believe either or, I don't know. But anyway, what I'm doing is I've got three different blue paints that I am testing with 6 different recommended cleaners from the paint stores. And I'm testing these so far, which I'm going to do it again because my first test sample was the boards were too small and they sprayed on each other. So I'm doing a whole different thing tomorrow. But the 2 paints that failed, they killed mold, but they failed the paint. But the 4 that did not change the paint color did not kill the mildew. So it still doesn't do any good for us.
Interesting.
It's paint, but it's not going to do the job.
You know what?
Trudy is practicing, guys.
Yes. I want to interject for that for a second. Colm Fidgen sells a product. He was just telling us early on the show that they don't even use bleach. It's more, he said, a fleet wash product.
Message. I'm like, send me a
find out what that is. Maybe, Ron, we can get a sample from Colm.
I don't
know. This is scary stuff.
I need.
Oh, you were, so you know about that.
Homeowners. Yeah. I messaged him. I'm like, please send me a sample. I want to try that.
Yes.
So I would love to.
Colm, we can make millions if this stuff works. Millions if it works on this stuff.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
But a lot of people.
Yeah, believe me, I want to get it. I want to get it done.
A lot of homeowners don't know about this, and even if we solve the problem tomorrow, this paint's on thousands of homes.
Yeah, it's scary.
Thousands, maybe more. I don't. And
I'm going to tell you, everything in the industry, that is the one thing that scares me. We do these multi-million-dollar homes. We do them all the time. I mean, I got thousands of customers. We're rolling out next week, big time, and we got an HOA with 100-something homes in there, all separate big homes. I don't have to worry about that now because these homes are all vinyl. But we have hardy board, we got cedar, we have all that planks. That scares me. It really scares. And so far, from what I'm hearing, Trudy, is it basically the blue color that's the problem, or it's all of them?
Well, I found some new colors today. There's been a tan. I was actually messaging one of my customers, and he said, I think I just got screwed myself. And I'm like, no, you're a good customer. We'll work with you. And he goes, no. and he sends me a video, and he said, this tan house is turning yellow. And he said, it's never happened to me before. So I was actually messaging back and forth the customer. His machine died. I was directing him what machine to get and what we have in stock. And he's just like, I think I just screwed myself. And I'm like, why? Like, I didn't do nothing. And so he sent me a video, and this beige house, it's like a tan beige color, was turning up. And another guy, he had a purple house. I mean, not a purple house, but he donated his time and chemicals to clean his son's baseball field, you know, the bleachers and then concession stands. So he did that, and it was purple. And he said I had to repaint all the metal railings
on a charity event.
On a charity event. So we had to repaint all that purple. So I'm still learning. So if anybody has had this happen, see if you can get the color code, take a picture of the brand and the color code. The more information we have, the more we can save ourselves and protect the homeowner.
You know, you've been in contact with the PWA president, Bo Giuseppe, right?
Yep, we're working together.
He's all over this thing. This is Ron. Ron never does residential. He doesn't even want to know about residential.
Well, here we do, John. We get Bo and Trudy on the show in 3 weeks, and we discuss this.
Because this is such a big issue. This can wipe companies out. I mean, if you're doing like an HOA or you're doing a condo, let's say we have condo complexes here, Trudy, that are all wood. God forbid my guys are cleaning that and like a whole section starts turning colors. You know, I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars laying around to pay for this thing. Scary.
Right.
Well, as Eric's saying here, like when you start using these other alternatives, obviously we're talking about the cost is going way up. He's guessing
what could happen.
4 times the amount of the cost. But I know a contractor. Well, he's not a contractor anymore because he changed the color of 7 houses. He lost his business. He lost his house. He went back, and
oh my God,
he had 7 houses, and he couldn't pay to paint them.
That's got to be well over $100,000 of damage.
We got to follow. We got to follow David around. He's got a secret mix, I guess, a secret dish soap. We'll just buy all the dish soaps at the store and give him a shot.
Yeah, you know what though? Yeah, you know what, David, do a video on that. Let's see. Maybe David's got something.
I would love to find it, but
yeah.
Trudy, do you see your boards I have here?
No, I can't see anything. I don't know.
Can you see us?
I can see you, but I just can't see any of the comments. It's weird.
No, can't see the boards either. We got a couple of your boards here, the ones that are laying on your patio furniture on your porch.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
I couldn't find the one where you did the sample. I couldn't find that. I was going to put that up to show the guys what you were doing.
I was amazed myself, and I spoke to another paint company. I spoke to a representative of a paint manufacturer, and I asked him, how do we wash this? He said, oh, we just soap and water. I'm like, but that doesn't kill mildew. He goes, oh, no, for maintenance, you have to use bleach or a bleach alternative. I'm like, but that's what's killing this pigment in this paint. So can you give us another option? And, you know, trying to get the paint manufacturers to admit that they have an organic pigment in them is like pulling teeth.
You know what?
With a kid's little pliers.
What about like a peroxide? Would that work on that?
I've got one of those in my sample. I've got 6 different chemicals and 6 different boards with 3 different paints. So
what about oxygenated bleach?
Do what?
I think it's called oxygenated bleach. I never used it. Have you ever heard that one?
Nope, but I think that's what's in the green ox that David.
Ron, you heard that before. Oxygenated
one
bleach.
Of the products I am sampling.
Hey, Trudy, you really need to give a call. Apparently, he knows a lot about this.
He's a smart guy. I met him. And he's got a speakeasy in his. Ron, yeah, you got to get a picture of Cole's speakeasy. He's got a beautiful.
We don't want Trudy to go to his speakeasy at his show.
Oh, Trudy,
that's no good.
Hey, listen,
No
listen,
good.
Ron, listen, when we pull this Atlantic
was it?
City off, Trudy's coming.
No,
Don't get
I'll
her a
send you.
speak.
I was trying to find a picture of this speakeasy. This is probably the best speakeasy I've ever been in.
Oh, it's high
man.
class.
I mean,
High
Well,
class.
it's got enough.
Really done up.
It's got enough stairs. It's
Yeah.
got the disco ball. Everything.
Well, he's from the UK, and so am I. So he knows how to do it.
It turns in. It goes from speakeasy to disco to morning breakfast place.
He's got it all figured out. And he goes to see Grant Cardone. I mean, come on. I mean, who does that?
and
That's
you
smart.
get quiche in the morning. You don't mess around.
Love it. Love it.
We're all going to connect, Trudy. All of us are all the good people are going to connect.
Perfect.
That's what's going to happen. And the industry's
Yeah.
going to go, woo, straight up.
All right, John. Kathy's gonna throw your dinner on you if you don't get in there and eat it, man.
Yeah. You want
And
to
then
close it out,
Shane
Ron?
and Trudy's got to go get. Trudy's got to go. I'm gonna let Trudy close it out because she's gonna say just like this. She's gonna say, guys, don't forget we'll be at the free Atlanta event in March 18th and 19th. Yes, it's free. Register at nationalcleaningexpo.com. Panhandle Power Wash Supply will be there. Go ahead, Trudy. Take us out.
That's a lot to remember. All right, guys, make sure you register for the free event, 18th and 19th of March in Atlanta. Panhandle Power Wash will be there. I'll talk all about this paint issue, and there'll be a lot of great instructors. So join us out there.
Good
Perfect.
night, gentlemen.
Good night.